Hello, everyone, and welcome to Check the Credits, a journey through music's biggest blunders. Welcome to the podcast dedicated to getting to the bottom of how and why certain records get made. Did the Beatles ever put out a turd? Well, no, but John Lennon did. Paul McCartney has, George Harrison did, and Ringo certainly has. What about Jay-Z? The mighty Van Halen, Metallica, Eminem, the Stones. We're going to do some in-depth reconnaissance and uncover the stories behind some of the worst records ever made by the music industry's biggest bands and artists. We are your hosts, Michael Green and Sam Atwood. Sammy, what's up, sucker?
What's up, Mikey?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Actually...
Hey, doing awesome.
Yeah, ooh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was incredible.
Well, thank you.
That was a perfect introduction to our next episode. And what album are we reviewing by which artists? Introduce it for us.
All right, Michael. It is not with any exaggeration that I say that the band we are discussing today lives in that rarefied strata of artists such as Chuck Berry, Little Richard, The Beatles, Led Zeppelin,
What?
U2,
What the?
Nirvana,
What's happening?
Run DMC,
I'm scared.
Jay-Z.
What?
Basically, think of any artist or band that you consider to be revolutionary, genre-defying, genre-creating, innovative, challenging, polarizing, and legendary. And you have this band.
I'm getting excited.
Metallica.
Metallica.
So we here at Check the Credits, and our audience know this band well, wouldn't you say?
I'll say.
We know everything about this band. We know the classic records. We know the documentaries. We know the band members. I'm telling you, we know this band. I'll go so far as to say that if you showed us random pictures of Metallica band members, we could tell you the approximate year based solely on their haircuts. So when I say we know and love this band, trust me, we know and love this band.
Agreed.
But
what?
along the way,
No.
in their illustrious and still very relevant career, they made an album
There's no way they did.
called LuLu. LuLu. And that's the album we'll be discussing today.
All right. LuLu.
Ooh, yeah.
Sammy, I want to ask you about your personal history
Yes, sir.
with the first half of this collaboration album between Metallica and Lou Reed, but we're going to tackle Metallica first. Tell me about Metallica in your life.
Metallica started with me. I think I knew. You know what? I'm going to be all the way real.
All right.
All the way real
Well,
right
I hope
now.
so. Jeez.
Like super real right now.
I hope so.
I'm sure I heard the hits along the way, I think. So Sandman
Yeah.
and stuff.
Okay.
But Load,
Yeah.
funny enough, I
Yeah.
remember seeing them perform Until It Sleeps on an awards show.
Great song.
I remember taping it and watching it a million times. So I'd say like the Load album actually like made me start like really listening to Metallica. And then, because until that point, honest to God, until that point, I thought Metallica was Kirk Hammett's band.
Why?
Yeah, I just figured they were just like...
That couldn't be further from the truth.
Right? I'm telling you right now, I'm a dummy when I'm
Bless
a
you.
kid.
No,
because
no,
I'm
not at all.
thinking, because playing the guitar, all I care about is solos.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
And I had an older friend who gave me a stack of 80s guitar magazines, which was really cool.
And he was on the cover.
And he's on the cover of them.
Every single one of them.
With James, but it's like more
it's
Kirk and they're asking him about his solos and stuff. I just
Sure.
figured they were like a Joe Satriani band or something where it's just, there's the background guys,
Yeah.
and then there's the guitar player.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it wasn't until Load that I was like, I like this band, and then had to go back and then go for like all that stuff.
That's such an interesting introduction to that band, because Load is like 96.
Yes.
Well after like their biggest sort of heyday.
So
that's so interesting.
Yeah, and I'm like whatever, like 16, 17 at the time. So I'm plenty old, but remember that my upbringing is very different from yours.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody gets to have heavy metal pedigree like Michael Green.
Now I'm confused.
Not everybody gets an uncle who's a legendary heavy metal bass player.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't up on it.
Okay.
How about you?
Cool. So yeah, Metallica and I go deep. My earliest memories of music and being exposed to music is Metallica.
Oh, wow.
So my earliest memories are of the early 80s. My mom's from England. And then when she immigrated over here, she met my dad, and then she stayed here. All of her family went back. But her little brother, my uncle, Tony, came over here, I think illegally.
Don't put him on blast like that, man. What's going on here?
Came over here in the early 80s. And so Tony was a metal guy. He was in a band called Adam Croft, who was very integral in thrash metal, the beginnings and origins of thrash metal in Newcastle, the northern part of England. So when he came over here, he was exposing me to...
That was me opening my Newcastle.
What kind of beer are we drinking?
That's right. That's for Uncle Tony.
Newcastle Brown Ale, Uncle T.
All right.
So he was exposing me to music, like Boston, Journey, all these records. But my earliest memory of any of those is him putting on these big headphones, which would have been huge to me. And
I remember this story.
They're smushing my little cute, chubby, adorable cheeks together.
Yeah.
And he put on Kill 'Em All.
I didn't realize that that's what he put on. I remember the story about the headphones, the big headphones.
Yeah.
It was Kill 'Em All.
It was Kill 'Em All.
Come on now.
1983. So I am 4 years old when he does this.
See, that's not even fair.
Yeah.
That's like Wayne Gretzky's dad putting him on skates when he's 3. Like,
and he's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like I could just be like James or something though. Gretzky just had it. Good for Gretzky's dad for having the intuition to do that.
Well, I say good for Uncle Tony.
Yeah, good for Uncle Tony. So I go back to Metallica, like with Metallica from the very beginning, man.
That's amazing.
From the very beginning, and I've got every single record, good and bad. I follow them, whatever's going on in their career. So Metallica and I go deep.
Yeah.
So
Fucking metal.
Yeah.
so before we move on to our credits, can you tell me about Lou Reed? Where are you in relation to Lou Reed?
So this is probably the first thing that I ever heard from Lou Reed. So that might sound kind of familiar.
Yes, yeah, I know the original.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
my original exposure is to Walk on the Wild Side on the radio.
Right.
But so what's this? What are we listening to?
This is Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
No way.
With a song called Wild Side.
So who's that rapping right now?
That's right. That's Mr. Marky Mark Wahlberg.
Tell your mama I said hello, okay?
Yeah. So that would be the first time that I heard anything kind of Lou Reed related.
Wow.
Would be that sample.
Marky Mark and the Funky
in that
Bunch.
song.
Dude,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, it's the original track, just on like classic rock radio.
Right.
I would have heard that song. So.
Right. So Lou Reed was famous for coming out of the Velvet Underground.
Sure,
Lead singer, main songwriter.
Yeah, yeah.
Struck out on his own. Put out an album, didn't do great. Then he put out the Transformer album, which had all the the hits.
What he's known for, yeah.
The stuff he's known for.
Sure.
Went on to have a very illustrious career.
Mm-hmm. Did you follow any of that though?
I've never been a big Lou Reed guy.
Yeah. So when you heard the Marky Mark thing, did you know that was a Lou Reed track, and you went back and go, "Oh yeah, I remember that song," or no?
I probably didn't know.
Probably didn't
I would have
even
been like 11. So I would have just been like, Marky Mark's awesome.
All right. So these are the two that decided to collaborate for this album, LuLu, that we were going to review.
That's
Metallica and Lou Reed. So the year is 2011.
Yep.
Some of the biggest news stories of 2011. We're not going too far back, but a series of massive earthquakes hit northeast Japan, unleashing that 10-meter tsunami.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
U.S. forces kill the Al Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. Of course, we remember that.
That was 2011?
2011. Wow. Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak quits, and the army pledges to oversee a transition to democracy.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a quit that was, but that was...
Yeah.
They got him out of there.
Libya's former leader Gaddafi is killed by rebels
in
the wake of an airstrike.
But the rapper Gaddafi still... Anyway.
Prince William marries Catherine Middleton. And Steve Jobs died in 2011. I can't believe it's that long ago. Yeah.
Okay.
The top grossing movie of 2011 was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Okay.
That was the biggest one.
Okay.
So now we're going to go through, this is the top 10 biggest songs on the Billboard charts of 2011.
Let's hear them.
And just like last time,
I'm
going to give you the artist, and you're going to give me the song, my fine. You don't have to go as far back as 99.
Yeah.
So this should be...
99 did all right.
You did do all right. Because Britney Spears is your jam.
Yeah, and see, that's why I did so well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So number 10.
Yes.
The Black Eyed Peas.
I Got a Feeling.
It's not.
Okay, hold on. Let's get it started.
It's not that one either.
Man, they had a lot of hits.
That's already more songs than I know from them. Good for you.
You know, it was a great Black Eyed Peas song. This is pre-Fergie days. Was The Weeknd. I love that too.
Bless you. I didn't even know Fergie. There was a time when Fergie weren't in the band.
Yeah.
Wasn't in the band.
Okay, so I don't know.
Just can't get enough. I don't even know how that song goes.
Get enough.
Number 10.
Okay.
Maroon 5 featuring Christina Aguilera.
I don't know.
Moves Like Jagger.
She's on that?
That's Maroon 5 featuring Christina Aguilera. But Moves Like Jagger, Maroon 5 doesn't have anything to do with that, do they? Isn't that Ronson, buddy?
No. Moves Like Jagger was...
That's that Levine guy singing it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. But featuring Aguilera?
I don't, you know what? I don't even know if I've ever listened to that whole song. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, because
I'm not sorry because Metallica fans are listening to this episode.
Yeah.
So of course we've never listened to that song.
Aguilera, Maroon 5, get out of it. Nicki Minaj, number 8.
What was that song? Something with Star in it. Wow.
No.
No?
Super Bass?
Super Bass.
You know this song?
Yeah, of course.
Can you give me the chorus?
The Super Bass.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Would you be able to just snap your fingers a little bit while you do that?
You know what I hate about that song? And it's funny that you say snap your fingers along.
Oh, really?
There's like the click, there's this like click track sound that just keeps the tempo.
They forgot to turn it off in post?
It sounds like that. Obviously, somebody thought like this is the coolest idea to like have a click track through the whole thing.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, like somebody never heard a click track before. And
See, we have a click track going on during our episode the entire time at 130
but
BPMs.
that's important.
But we turn it off. Like, we can hear it, but nobody else can. That's why we have such rhythm.
Yeah.
Number 7, CeeLo Green. Watch your mouth.
The one, the F,
Yeah.
I'm like, F you, whatever.
You got it. F you.
That's what it's
That's
called?
it. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Sorry, I was looking for another title.
And it's not the letter F or EFF. It's the swear.
You, I'm like, you.
That's
See?
Lars.
That's Lars.
That's Lars from some kind of monster.
It's Lars singing CeeLo Green's song.
Nobody knows that cover is out there of Lars doing a cover of CeeLo Green.
It's me and Lars. It's me. It's Lars singing.
Do it again.
You. And he's really good because he gets progressively.
Wow.
Bigger, yeah.
He gets really into it.
It's a great cover.
I didn't even know he was a singer. Mm-hmm. Bruno Mars, number 6.
I hate Bruno Mars, so I don't know. I hate Bruno Mars because he's too talented, okay? I'm a hater because he's too talented.
So glad you clarified. Because Bruno Mars is so good.
Of course he is, and I hate him for it.
I do hate him too. He's good at everything. He's like,
For
oh my
real.
God, is that a drum kit? I've never played before, but
Yeah, get lost, Bruno.
yeah, Grenade.
I don't know what that is.
You didn't know that song,
I don't know
Grenade?
that song. How's it go?
Even I knew that one.
How's it going?
I'm not singing.
All right, fine. Not in front of the
It's like,
Metallica
Grenade
fans.
for you. Something like that.
Because the guys in Anthrax
Would
and
just
Motley
think
Crue
you're
would
just wimps with your
just
short
make
hair.
fun of you.
Which was all sensitive and tender, right? Pitbull featuring Neo, Afrojack, and Nair.
Pitbull has way too many hits. I don't know.
This sounds like right up your alley.
What is it?
Like you were jamming to this. Give Me Everything.
Okay.
Katy Perry featuring Kanye West, number 4.
Okay. Alien.
E.T.?
It's called E.T. Oh, extraterrestrial. Yeah, I'm sorry. I called it Alien. I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, number 3, Katy Perry.
What? Are you serious?
She was destroying in 2011.
What else was around that time?
You know it.
Yeah, I know
it's
it.
coming.
Roar.
Nah.
Is anybody on it?
No. Like, I'm
Okay.
sure there's other humans. I don't think she played all the instruments.
Yeah.
Maybe she did.
No,
Maybe
because
she-
there's
maybe
the one
she's
with
amazing.
Juicy J who does
Oh, okay.
a verse. I don't know.
Baby, you're a firework.
Firework?
No?
Oh, yeah.
Firework,
I
yeah.
hate that song.
Number 2, LMFAO featuring Lauren Bennett and Goon Rock.
Party Rock.
Party rock anthem.
Yep.
You got it. And the number 1
Yes.
single
I'm
of
gonna do it this time.
2011.
I'm gonna do it this time.
You're singing the chorus on this one.
Nope.
Adele.
In 2011.
Yeah.
Oh, so it would have been Rolling in the Deep.
You got it. Give me a chorus.
Nope.
Dude.
No, man.
You're no fun. So 2011 is the year of LuLu, Metallica and Lou Reed. Released November of 2011.
Yep.
20 years after the Black Album.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
That's interesting to think of it that way.
Yeah.
So let's check the credits. This is Metallica's 11th studio effort, but their first collab album. This is Lou Reed's 23rd studio effort, I think.
Good for
I was
him.
trying to do some math. And his second collaboration album, his first being with John Cale in 1990 called Songs for Drella.
Okay.
Reed and Metallica played together at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 25th anniversary concert in 2009. They played Sweet Jane and White Light, White Heat, and they decided to do a project together.
Yeah.
So the project wasn't even revealed to be a collab with Lou Reed until the recording of the album was complete.
Oh. So Metallica fans thought they were just getting a normal
Well,
Metallica album.
there is a quote that Kirk had released saying, the next thing coming out is not your normal Metallica record. That was like his only thing that he said.
Okay.
But I'm sure they weren't expecting this.
No.
This was originally intended to be Metallica re-recording various unreleased tracks Reed had written over the years. That was what the project was gonna be. So among the unreleased tracks, though, were a collection of songs composed for a play called
Yes.
LuLu.
Yeah.
So it's based on the LuLu plays by the German playwright Frank Wedekind.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. He died in 1918 and was best known for the LuLu Cycle, a 2-play series, Earthgeist, which is Earth Spirit in 1895, and Die Bücher der Pandora,
That's my favorite one.
Pandora's Box, 1904. The plays center on a young dancer, adventurous of mysterious origin. So Reed shares the demos with Metallica to help bring the piece to the next level, and the group ended up providing significant arrangement contributions to the material.
Okay.
So Reed stated that everything was cut live with us just staring at each other. So this is interesting. The recording was problematic at times. According to Lars, admitted that at one point, Lou Reed challenged him to a street fight.
I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. So this guy, this old guy.
Yeah. I feel like that story checks out, though. I would expect that from Lou Reed.
Why?
I don't know. He seems like a curmudgeon. Like he's
Okay.
he's known for like trolling. Before that was
Okay.
like, a term we used regularly. He would like troll interviewers. I don't know if you watch old interviews with him and stuff.
Okay.
And he would just be kind of, difficult and stuff for interviewers. He'd just make up stuff, just lie profusely. And they would just be like, oh, that's fascinating. And he'd be like, yeah, I did that. I used to cut down trees when I was 10 years old to make enough money to buy albums.
But all of that is untrue.
Yeah, he'd be like, I used to tend to the pigs in our pig farm and stuff. And you just get these poor interviewers who are like, wow, that's fascinating.
That's interesting. All I knew about Lou Reed, like after the Velvet Underground thing, he like went back and lived with his parents.
Oh, and see, I think that was like for like a month. Don't even put that.
Okay.
Don't put it on him like that.
Oh, no, I'm going to. Absolutely going to.
Come on, man.
There's 10 songs on the album, and it comes in at an hour and 27 minutes.
Oh, man.
So how would you feel about going through the producer credits? Wanna?
Yeah, let's do it.
Producers.
Just from one of the greatest producers,
more
Metallica
time?
producers of all time.
Oh, it's Bob.
That's right.
Bob Rock. Oh, completely forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about our history with the band. When I was in high school, I had a year and a half in the life of Metallica. And at the time, there was no DVDs. So I had them on VHS. So it was a 2 VHS set. So the first VHS tape was them in the studio with Bob Rock and Randy Staub and everything, recording the Black Album. And then the second VHS tape was them going on tour and touring the album.
Yeah, that's right. And
That's Bob right there.
No, this is James.
Oh,
sorry, Jason.
That's Jason with the bass. Yeah,
that's right. I had the same 2 VHS tapes.
You did?
Yeah.
Holy crap. So in high school, these tapes just kind of made their way around like my circle of friends. And everybody borrowed them and we all watched them. And just all 4 years of high school, like constantly, we loved that documentary. At the time, there was like Aerosmith had Pump, the making of Pump, which is sort of similar. There was no but the second tape was them going on tour, which is like a really cool inside look at everything that had to do with the Black Album tour. So it's pretty amazing. They do the big Moscow festival that they did with Pantera and AC/DC, the Black Crowes and everything like that. And then they had the Freddie Mercury tribute. So there's like backstage footage when James does Stone Cold Crazy. Yep. And he's hanging out with Tony Iommi, which is a huge hero of his.
Cool scene.
So there's really cool footage there. And I recommend that anybody who's listening to this who's not even a Metallica fan, even if you aren't a Metallica fan, you're going to love this documentary. It's a really great insight into one of the biggest records ever made. Yeah. The most expensive album at that time, I think, ever made.
Yeah, $1 million.
Yeah, and then by the biggest band, or they were about to become.
That's what's
great. They were definitely on
it.
their way.
Yeah, that's what's great about it is nobody knows that this is going to be a 16 million album selling monster. Like nobody knows that at the beginning of this recording, which is so cool to see.
It is cool to see because looking back in retrospect.
Yeah.
Right.
And in the 90s, there wasn't a ton of that kind of behind the scenes thing, especially with such a big band.
Yeah. So plus, I think that's the biggest selling album of like the Nielsen sound scanned era. Like as soon as that started up. So Metallica Black Album is the biggest selling album of all time as far as SoundScan is concerned.
That's
Isn't that
cool.
Crazy?
And those documentaries are so cool. That's why I mentioned it in the intro because Metallica fans know that documentary so well. And this precedes Some Kind of Monster by years.
It does precede Some Kind of Monster.
And unlike Some Kind of Monster, this documentary just made them look so cool.
It makes them look cool. They're still so young. They're morons, and there's fart jokes, and there's just burping.
Yeah,
and
like any Metallica fan knows.
They make you bend over, man.
Like those scenes are just like we know those.
Oh
scenes.
yeah, they're ingrained.
Yeah,
so great. And I mean, there's a reason why we didn't pick Some Kind of Monster as being the album that we tackle for CTC. I think it's been documented to death. Yeah. We may do it. I think there's more than 2, maybe 3 albums in the Metallica catalog that we could definitely review on this podcast.
Sure.
But so we'll go through some producer credits. Producers listed are Greg Fidelman. Yep. So his credits are Slayer, Black Sabbath, the Chili Peppers, Audio Slave, Slipknot. He's also worked on records by U2, Johnny Cash, Neil Diamond, the list goes on. This guy is a heavy hitter.
Yeah, and he was Rick Rubin's engineer, I believe.
Yeah, that's probably why you're getting a lot of like the Chili Pepper stuff and Audio Slave and everything. Right. So Hal Wilner.
Yes.
Marianne Faithfull. So Lucinda Williams and Lou Reed.
Yeah. So I know him from the story of how Jeff Buckley started his career.
I've got that right here in my notes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he produced a tribute concert to Tim.
Yes.
Metallica and Lou Reed are listed as producers as well.
Yeah.
So this is the final full-length studio recording project that Reed was involved in before his death in 2013. Liver disease, I believe. The last project he was involved in was with Canadian band Metric.
Yeah.
He was featured on a track called Wanderlust for their 2012 album Synthetica.
Mm-hmm. Good tune.
So I've got a quote here from David Bowie. Bowie called it a masterpiece and misunderstood.
What was?
LuLu.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Called LuLu.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there are...
Mikey, will you be that good of a friend to me?
I know.
If I put out an album like
I
LuLu?
probably will not. So there are conflicting sort of like...
Good answer.
There's some stories that I was able to find in my research where Bowie and Lou Reed were kind of like an on again, off again, had falling outs and then repairing relationship, then a falling out and then repairing relationship. They obviously, like Bowie and Ronson did like the Transformer album and everything, and I think Berlin as well. Ronson was heavily a big instrumental, played all the guitars and all the stuff on those early Reed records. So I thought I remember reading that him and Bowie had sort of an on again, off again relationship.
I believe that, and I would go so far as to say that I don't know the guy. I don't know either of them, obviously, but I would assume.
Sadly, they're both gone.
Yeah,
now,
I would assume that that's all Lou Reed's fault. Doesn't Bowie just seem like a sweetheart?
Yeah, like Bowie does, man. And I feel like just going through all the research into not only Lou Reed's material, but interviews and stuff, he kind of came across as maybe he could be a putz at times, or just like to push boundaries or like to push the envelope. He maybe liked negative reactions from people. Like that was what he got off
just like
on.
poking people.
Yeah, he liked poking people and getting that sort of reaction, like the Andy Kaufman of the glam rock era. There you go. But there's the infamous scene in Almost Famous where Hoffman's character asks little William Miller.
Yeah.
So you like Lou Reed? The early stuff. The newer stuff, he's trying to beat Bowie. That's a great scene.
That's a great scene.
So, dude, anything else? We're going to go for track.
Let's do it.
Track.
Let's get through these
track
tracks.
for track review. Let me just stretch.
Let's do it.
So the first one up is we got Brandenburg Gate.
Hey there. If you want to listen to this clip, you're going to have to go download the album. If you dare. It's pretty shitty. Hence the purpose of this podcast. Anyway, back to the show.
Just over 4 minutes and 20 seconds is the shortest track on the record. So it opens with a bizarre lyric. Sung, ? Off pitch by Lou, and I'm assuming an acoustic guitar strummed by Lou as well. It sounds like maybe a 12 string or something. So it's fun that you bring up like Melodyne or pitch shifting and stuff, because going through all of Lou Reed's stuff, and I mean right back to the Velvet Underground, all through his solo career, and obviously up to this record, the man was tone deaf. There's no question that Lou Reed couldn't sing, was not a singer, and didn't try or intend to be.
He could hold a tune.
Well, not really, because even on Walk on the Wild Side, I mean, he's flat. He's not singing in any kind of tune, except when the girls come in. The doot, 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 and then he seems to kind of find it. I've worked with singers like that before who, if you help them get there, they can sort of find, right, here I am. But if they're singing off key, they don't even know they are singing off key, which I think is an element of being tone deaf.
There's no way he's for real tone deaf.
Well, there's no question he is. There's no question that he couldn't sing on pitch.
I thought he just like played fast and loose with...
And you know what? Maybe, man. But
I
I certainly, there's no evidence of it on this record that the man could sing.
Right.
And there's no evidence that I really hear from all of his other stuff. He had great musicians around him. Mm-hmm. Like some of Ronson's guitar solos on those early records are amazing.
Yeah, he was a talented cat.
Like the band, for me, is what shined in those early Lou Reed records, not Lou Reed. and I don't want this to turn into like a Lou Reed bashing thing. But when I was going through his catalog, I was just like, I don't think he could sing on pitch. I don't think so. And that was like, that's fine. That's what he was, and that's who he was. And people were fans of that, of whatever he brought, the attitude, the edginess, and I don't care if I can't sing or not. It was punk, really. It was kind of a punk sort of attitude. Yeah. So it's just interesting to me that a guy who couldn't even sing on pitch made like a great career out of being a singer or the lead singer in a band. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first episode when we talked about Eddie Van Halen trying to sing.
What? He did?
And we mentioned somebody like Leonard Cohen.
We have to do that every episode.
Yeah, Leonard Cohen, who doesn't have, what you would consider a singer's...
Oh, sure, but Leonard could sing on pitch.
He could.
Yes. Lou Reed can't.
Right.
Which is my point.
Okay.
So
the idea was certain dudes get a pass because
that's what it is.
Songwriting, their lyrics, their poetry or whatever is so engaging.
So to you, Lou Reed gets a pass because his lyrics were just so engaging and so...
If you asked me before I listened to LuLu, does Lou Reed get a pass? I'd be absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Not a question. The man wrote Satellite of Love.
Sure.
He wrote Perfect Day. Like, he gets a pass. I don't care. But this album.
Sure.
Yeah, there's no passing here. Okay.
Fair enough. So once it kicks in with the band, it never strays from that sort of Tuesday's Gone progression. With Hetfield singing Small Town Girl over and over again.
Yeah.
So this was the first thing I heard from the album back in 2011. So like I said, I'm a massive Metallica fan. This comes out. I'm not crazy familiar with Lou Reed. So this album comes out, I grab it.
Yeah.
And I put it on. So I was really confused by it at the time. I remember like I was painting a house with my earbuds in and this came on and that opening lyric, I would cut my foot. It was like, I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So coming from the place of a massive Metallica fan, a lot of Lou Reed fans are going to hear it and be like, that's our Lou. That's our legend. Yeah. But as a Metallica guy who's not too familiar with Lou Reed, I'm like, what the balls is this?
Right. And so we also don't get a lot of music from Metallica. Like we get albums every batch of years, right?
Yeah. So, we're actually right around the Load album because between Black and Load, there's like a 5-year gap there. And that's when it sort of started.
Right.
Is the big gaps between records.
So to be excited about a Metallica record coming out.
Yeah.
And it's this.
Yeah.
Adds to that.
So for our younger listeners who maybe don't know what the Brandenburg Gate is, it's sort of this infamous Brandenburg Gate. For my childhood, in June of 1987, U.S. President Ronald Reagan spoke to the West Berlin populace at the Brandenburg Gate, addressing Mikhail Gorbachev.
Bring down.
Reagan famously said,
General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Ooh, yeah.
That was great.
Huh?
That was awesome.
That was my Reagan impression.
That was fantastic.
I think it's like a me trying to do an impression of Dana Carvey doing a Reagan impression. Or no, it would have been Phil Hartman, I think, who did the Reagan thing.
It was awesome, though.
Oh my gosh. So how do you feel about doing some YouTube comments? Do you want to just skip that part or do you want to do YouTube comments?
Just don't read the comments.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
We're not going to listen to James.
We're not going to listen to James.
We are going to listen to these comments.
So Godspeed you, Altmer Swift, 1 year ago, says, I honestly think the only real problems with this album are the mixing and the fact that Metallica clearly didn't practice before the recording sessions.
Yeah.
Lee Ernesto Bowles, 5 years ago, says, I would rather listen to this than that Canadian kid.
I just got that. Oh, he means Bieber.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, he means Bieber.
Okay.
I don't know about that, man.
What does Bieber have to do with LuLu?
Nobody knows.
What? That's just a random knock on Bieber?
Yes.
Poor Justin.
For real.
Justin, we love you.
Yeah. Keep rocking, Jess.
Keep rocking, Justin?
Yes.
He clearly has up to this point. Jay Burris Wayne, 9 months ago, says, what the fuck? F-O-C-K.
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
You made Lars cry, man.
Mark Biederman, 3 years ago, says, I still love this shit, but then why wouldn't I? I understand it. Wow. It is almost exactly what I expected. The best Lou Reed has done since Rock and Roll Animal, especially Iced Honey.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Defender.
Good for you.
Defender.
Defending that.
Why wouldn't I like it? I understand it.
He understands it, not like us dummies.
Did you understand The View? Which is the next one up on our track list. This is the album's only single. The View.
I thought, didn't at one point he say, I'm the tablet?
Sure did.
Yeah. So was that a mistake? Did he mean to say table the whole
Oh,
time?
you're telling me he's trying to read Lou's writing? And he says tablet.
He says, I am the tablet.
Lou goes over and he says, it's table.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
James goes, oh, shit,
Yeah,
man, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Ooh, I better do that. I better retake that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's stupid.
And
So
he was
yeah,
like, I am the tablet.
I am the tablet.
I am the iPad. He thought that's where he's going with it. And Lou's like, no, man.
This was their tribute to Steve Jobs, who had just passed
That's
away
right.
in 2011.
It's the table. You're the table.
You're the
James,
tablet.
obviously, you're the table.
So I actually dug this main riff. It's heavy, it's weighty, it's kind of that classic metal Sabbath sort of sludgy kind of lick.
Yeah.
Metallica are such gifted writers that I didn't mind the music for this. I remember thinking the first time that I heard this second track back in 2011 that it sort of clicked in my head what I was in for. So that this album was going to be a predominantly like spoken word over Metallica music album. It's just bizarre stuff.
It's interesting you say that because I feel like there should be way more spokenness than the attempts at singing. Yeah.
Right. There's not a whole lot of spoken word.
Not that it would be great, but it's better
Yeah.
than the attempts at trying to sing along to a Metallica riff.
Do you have any thoughts on The View?
Not really. I
Why?
mean, there's
Why?
like some weird kind of religious references with the I ams.
Okay.
Maybe the 10 stories.
Okay.
Plus the tablet. I was thinking like 10 Commandments. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? Maybe
I'm
that's what the
reaching.
tablet's about.
I don't know.
Oh, you're filling in the blanks?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're writing the song for Lou?
I got nothing.
All right. So Ein Swiss Loktapai 2 years ago says, I am the wooden platform on which you consume breakfast food.
That was dumb.
Guillermo Garcia 8 months ago, Metallica fans are dumbs. They don't let the band create what they want. And if Metallica goes to a different way, the fans try bad things. Dislikes and negative comments or comments, because it's one M, on internet against the creative phase of the band. This sound is very good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone might like that. I don't know. I doubt it.
That was relevant.
Did. Somebody did.
And the Sixner 7 years ago says, it's official. This is shit.
All right.
Ready for the next song?
Yes, I am.
This one's called Pumping Blood. I like that part where he says, come on, James. And James doesn't do anything. He doesn't say, yeah. And he doesn't do a guitar thing. Like, nothing happens.
Yeah, yeah, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he should have done.
That's what he should have done. Yeah.
No, because he just said a dark prostitute, and James is going, what?
Waggle my ass.
What did you just say?
Yeah. Dude, so bizarre.
man.
Oh my God, that's stupid.
This opens with a string arrangement. It kicks in with a great Metallica riff. It's got it's a really great guitar riff.
Yeah.
And then Reed starts singing, question mark. It eventually drops into that mellow arpeggio kind of piece with Reed mumbling nonsense over it. Lars takes advantage of the space and beats the hell out of his kits. Some of the fills are cool,
Yeah.
and then some of them are like maybe he dropped a stick or sort of fell over.
So I've got a whole thing about Lars
Oh, me too.
with my wrap up for this.
I can go on and on about Lars.
Okay.
This is just a weird piece.
Yeah.
So the whole like, Jack, I beseech you.
Yeah.
Jack, I beseech you. And he says it 1,000 freaking times in this song is like a reference to Jack the Ripper, I guess.
Oh.
That's
'Cause
the Jack, I beseech you thing.
Okay.
Blood is spilling out.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
character is getting killed by Jack the Ripper.
Right.
or whatever.
So here's my big question. So we talked about, does Lou Reed get a pass in terms of like not being able to sing? But does he also get a pass for all this dark prostitute colored man's dick stuff that he
Right.
says in this song?
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not 1972 anymore, and you're like, and the colored girls sing. Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that was back in the day.
Yeah.
This is 2011, Lou.
But he never moved on.
Like nobody. Where was Robert?
Trujillo?
Where was Robert Trujillo?
Yeah.
Why wasn't he like, whoa, 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 whoa,
Did you just say colored man's dick?
homie? We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not going there. Where was
Yeah.
Kirk? Like,
No.
where, like,
I'm with you, man, because
and I'm not saying that Lars and James aren't,
shouldn't take offense to that.
culturally sensitive or whatever, whatever.
For sure. Yeah.
But-
you got two brown guys who were in the band.
That's all I'm saying. As a brown dude,
Yeah.
if I'm there, I don't know. I'd like to think I would step to Lou Reed. I don't know.
Right. So this is the point of us trying to get to the bottom of what the balls happened. Like how did you allow this record to happen?
Yeah.
Is that there was a fear? There's a legend in our midst, so we're just not allowed to say anything.
Yeah.
Like he can just challenge Lars to a street fight, and Lars is gonna be like, I'm just I'm playing my drums. It's like, no, okay, you want to go outside, old man? I'll beat your ass. Like, come on, Lars.
Yeah, I would love to talk to them.
Yeah,
and say, when that happened, James, did
You were fine with it?
Did you turn to Lars and just like,
What was that?
like,
Yeah.
tell me you had some kind of reaction?
Yeah. Because Lars defends this record.
Yeah.
He's the one that's been the most vocal about it. There's not the other members of Metallica haven't been. Like for instance, if you read interviews with James in retrospect, thinking about like Load and Reload, and when you look at the pictures, the artwork for those albums, there's like they're wearing the mascara and they're wearing the makeup and the short hair and stuff. James is like looking back on that like, I hated all that.
Yep.
Kirk and Lars were really into that abstract art stuff, so I just went along with it, kind of thing.
Good for him.
But James looks back at that as like he's not ripping on the music. He's ripping on like the image of it. But Lars has been very vocal about defending LuLu. And lyrically, I'm with you, man. There's a lot of like perverse, weird, twisted sort of things. Now, I get that he wrote lyrics based on like plays. Like they aren't words taken from the play. He read the plays or saw the plays and then came up with his own lyrics behind them. So
yeah, you could maybe defend it if it was just,
but it's not.
Yeah, and so the fact that Lars defends the project, I'm good with that.
Sure, you should.
I'm
do
okay
that.
with that.
Yeah. Do you want to hear some YouTube comments?
Oh yeah,
Wanna?
absolutely.
Did you forget?
Yeah.
Dennis Muscle Math 3 years ago says LuLu is the best musical project Metallica has ever been associated with.
What the hell are we thinking?
That's some nonsense. Okay, keep going.
KLB 39, or actually KLB 39 months ago. Awesome art rock! Exclamation point. If you don't get it, put your Poison and Def Leppard back on play. And leopard was with one P. So leopard? It could be leopard still.
Yeah.
Sorry. And of course, Blaine Hoovert 11 months ago says, puppy blood. Puppy blood.
Puppy blood.
Puppy blood.
That's what it should have been.
That's what it sounds like he's saying. And as
Puppy
soon as I
blood.
read that YouTube comment, that's all I hear now.
I want to hear the song more now.
Puppy blood.
It does sound like puppy blood.
It does sound like puppy blood. Right. Mistress Dread is our next track.
What you got for this?
Ooh,
'Cause
Mistress
I
Dread.
got nothing.
Music-wise.
Okay.
Music-wise.
All right.
It's fabulous thrash metal. It's frantic. It's intense.
Like frantic TikTok? Or?
TikTok! Lou's vocals are particularly bad on this one. Let's be real. It's quite awful throughout the entire record, but this one is so bad. It's an absolute mess. A nearly 7-minute mess. And props to Lars for keeping that up that long, man. He doesn't let up.
Lars is great.
Lars is great.
Yeah.
Haters. Screw you. Lars
Stupid
rocks.
haters. Don't hate on Lars. Not in the presence of the Check the Credits crew, okay?
Right?
'Cause
We're defending Bieber. We're defending Lars.
We back Lars. But we legit back Lars. We love Lars.
Yeah, we legit.
All right.
Mistress Dread. So you got nothing on that?
I have zero for
Okay.
Mr. Strat. I'm sorry.
Well, I think like it's. Let me just go to YouTube comments. Van Rootstuck 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's the talk that really sets this piece apart. The speech gives the music meaning and makes it different from otherwise meaningless, freely interpretable riffs. The combination forms a whole, a mixture of thought and effect, emotion. The unconscious and conscious come together, so that which is unrealized in the feeling of the music, aggressive riffs, becomes realized in the talk. And the lifefulness and experience that emanates from Reed and his voice makes this talk really powerful. This has been Michael with Pillow Talk. And Alejandro Carvajal 7 months ago says, they say that Lars is still drumming to this day from this song.
When do I get a chance to fucking rebut?
It's like an AIDS test. What's the result?
Why is Nas trying to get in on
I don't
our
know
podcast?
why Nas keeps jumping into
This is Metallica.
podcast.
Nasir,
Nasir,
go back to
Come on,
Queensbridge.
man. I'm gonna mute.
I want Lost Tapes 3. Get on it.
I'm gonna have to mute that channel, the Nas channel. Excuse me.
Oh, gosh. Are you ready for the next song?
Yeah, man. What is it?
I hope you have some comments for this one, because I do not. This is Iced Honey. There's no, okay.
I'd say this is the closest thing to a song. One of
Yeah, I guess.
on the album.
You know, what's strange is that wasn't maybe the single.
I thought it would.
Yeah, that would be the single. Because it's got maybe the most, like, pop sort of sensibility to it.
Yeah. So in this song, James is singing some of Lou's words. And one of the things reminded me of was the scene from, this is going back to Some Kind of Monster,
Not familiar with it.
that the outtakes or whatever, which I'm sure you've seen.
When they're in the studio, is it Ja Rule?
The Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey, Ja, you want to sing some of James's lyrics? And they're like, Nevermore, the Whipping Boy or whatever. And he's like, I'm going to let James handle that. You're allowed, when someone presents you with a lame lyric,
idea,
you're allowed to
"I'll
say,
pass." Yeah.
So
what did Hetfield sing? All I remember him doing is that, Tony!
did he
over
sing
and over
something
again.
else? I feel like he
don't
sang,
think so.
I've got here.
Oh, yeah. He goes, ooh. Yeah. Yeah. I think he does
I
that.
thought he sang something.
I don't think so, man.
I've got here in quotes, see if the ice will melt for you. Did he sing that?
Oh, yeah. Now I remember.
So he
Dude,
does.
I'm so sorry.
He does sing some of these stupid
Can you ever
lyrics.
find it in the cockles of your heart to forgive me? Okay.
Yeah.
See if the ice will melt for you.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe you can't say no to Lou Reed. But
Well, that's what it's feeling like, dude.
yeah.
Like they jammed at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. They did White Light, White Heat, legendary Velvet Underground stuff. And they're just like, yeah, totally, let's do a project together.
Yeah, and I mean, I totally get when James is like,
We'll have fun. We'll look at each other and laugh.
you know, and we'll just do this thing and we'll see, maybe it'll turn out good.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. Well, maybe I'll take a second just to say that if you're a massive Metallica fan, Metallica doing this record with Lou Reed, isn't that crazy? I know. Hear me out.
Okay.
They've been a controversial band right from the beginning.
Yes.
Right from the get-go.
Yes.
When the early days with Dave Mustaine.
Yes.
And using his licks when he asked them not to on Kill 'Em All.
Yeah.
Also, when Kirk went in and did guitar solos for Kill 'Em All.
Yes.
The first couple of bars of each guitar solo were Dave's,
And then
then he would go off and do his own thing.
And then he'd get voted like best guitar player.
Right. So they were controversial right away.
Yeah.
Ride the Lightning comes out and opens with acoustic guitars. And it's got Fade to Black on
Yes.
it. So
glad you're going here.
yeah,
Mikey.
so
Go.
Metallica have always been like, eat a dick, we're going to do what we want. And I love that about Metallica.
Yes.
I respect them for that. I respect the hell out of something like Load because they did it. The
Yes.
songs are great.
Yep.
Yeah, they cut their hair and whatever. Or they were wearing mascara. But, dude, Until It Sleeps, Ain't My
Love that
Bitch.
too. Love
Like,
it.
there's some great. King Nothing is one of my favorite
even
Metallica
Reload.
songs.
Here's the thing. And then you go to Reload, and
Sure.
now they've got a song where the chorus is sung by
Marian Faithfull. This is where I was going. Thank you.
Yeah, and then like as
Marian Faithfull and Lou Reed are completely connected.
but like as a fan,
Yeah.
by that point you're like, story checks out.
Right.
Right? I'm a Metallica fan.
Yes.
I have to like expect this now.
Right.
And to me, that's why I listed who I listed in the intro.
Yes.
Because that's where they are.
Yes.
They are that level of band or artist where they've gotten their
Sure.
fan base
Sure.
there to
Yeah, yeah.
expect.
Yeah, because
these
even
things.
when the Black Album when that came out, From Justice to Black Album, that polarized a lot of fans. People, it wasn't
Yeah,
thrash.
yeah.
The songs weren't 9.5 minutes long anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and everything about the Black Album wasn't what people knew about Metallica up until that point. So right from the beginning, Metallica have always been controversial, sort of done their own thing, went their own way, and I really respect that about them. Having said that, when they did something like the Black Album, the songs were ridiculously amazing and hooky and great.
Yeah.
And when they did Load, to follow up the Black Album with Load is
That's hard.
That's a completely different band.
Yeah.
That's your Joshua Tree to Octone.
Yeah.
No question. But the songs were there.
Yeah.
It's always got to be about the material. It's always got to be about the songs. Something like Some Kind of Monster is very divisive among Metallica fans, and the songs need to be there.
Yeah.
Something like Lulu, the songs needed to be there. And I feel like this was the best record for us to choose for CTC. I got a feeling we're going to visit the Metallica well more than once, but I think tackling this one, because I think a lot of Metallica fans maybe don't want to remember that this happened. So
but it's important to
But it's
remember.
important
Yes.
to note
Yes.
that they did it. And that the Lou Reed thing isn't that crazy.
Yeah.
For Metallica to do something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Iced Honey, mid-tempo kind of pop slop. It's not a terrible riff, but it never deviates from it. There's nothing else that happens in this song. Reed delivers that incessant monotone poetry over the top. Even when Hetfield comes in with the Iced Honey thing, it's pitchy, it's off, it's flat or whatever. And I guess like they just did it live and they obviously didn't correct anything afterwards. So I don't really have more comments than that. I could care less about this song.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 years ago.
Does YouTube care about that? Do the
Yeah,
YouTube
they do.
commenters care?
They definitely care. Check this out. Okay, so this guy's or girl's name is written in like Korean or Asian like letters.
Okay.
So I can't read that.
All right.
But 2 years ago, they said Lulu is the best metal album I have ever heard since Lateralis.
And what's that?
Tool.
Oh.
It's like a classic Tool
Yeah,
album
that's
from the
ridiculous.
90s. Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So we got some defenders out
Wow.
there. The quintessential 1 year ago says the official nutting song.
So you never know, man. You really do never know.
Oh my gosh, I got hiccups now.
Yeah. Ooh.
By the way, those oohs and yes, that's not James.
Is it Jim Brewer or something?
Jim
It is Jim Brewer.
Shout out to Jim Brewer, man. Shout out to that guy. Because
Jim Brewer. He does a great Lars impression
yeah,
too.
he does it so well.
Yeah.
Oh man, I should have grabbed some Lars. You're right.
Those oohs and yahs are not even James.
No,
dude.
that's just all Jim Brewer.
That's fabulous. Ricardo Zubiate Hubrebro 2 years ago says, better than Jimi Hendrix. Epic.
What? Who are these people?
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're not trying to be better than Jimi Hendrix on this song. You know what I mean? Like, this
Yeah.
isn't like a guitar.
Like, why would you listen to
What?
Little Wing or Purple Haze and then Lulu right after and go, well, I am enjoying this more than that fuzz guitar crap from that guy.
The comparisons are amazing.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
No, even
Why
with
doesn't
Tool.
he say like
Best metal album
so
since
much
Tool?
better than Colonel Sanders? Like, it's just so ridiculously random. Like,
It makes no sense.
okay.
Hey guys, this is one half of the long-winded duo. Just wanted to jump in and make sure you're enjoying the episode so far, and don't forget to check out part 2. Also, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the podcast so that you can be a part of all this gold. Share it and like it and tell all your friends. Hugs and kisses on all your pink parts.